You're listening to Wisdom for the Rest of Us, a journey in search of wisdom that we can all use in our daily lives. I'm E.T. Hansen, but you can call me Eric. The wisdom of 101 famous poems. These are my thoughts on why I am grateful that the world is too much with us. This poem, sonnet by William Wordsworth, "The World is Too Much With Us." It's an early, maybe one of the first examples, the forerunners of this genre we have of literature or of contemporary, discourse, of essays, of political punditry, of complaining about the world we live in, complaining about modern civilization. It's the kind of thing. It's the grass is always greener, and that applies not only to place but to time. We're living in our time, but we imagine that any other time would be better, in Germany there's even this very strange word called civilization sickness, civilization disease, Zivilisationskrankheit, a long word. Right, and it means a sickness that comes with civilization. It is caused by civilization or somehow associated with civilization. So before civilization, before agriculture, before the industrial world, the implication is that we didn't have these diseases, these modern discontents, the discontents of our modern world, and some of these diseases would be, I think, cancer may be one. There may be. I may be mistaken, but I think there's no evidence that the cancer existed before a certain period in time. It's probably just there's no way it probably did exist, but there was just no evidence of it. And of course, stress and depression is one. There's no evidence that depression existed before the modern age or something like that. At some point, we began to notice depression, and we assumed that before that time, depression did not exist. And so these are sicknesses that we kind of think or suggest are the price we pay for civilization. In other words, we're kind of implying that civilization is a bad thing because it takes us away from nature, and we were happier in nature, we were more healthy in nature, everything was right in nature, everything was good in the world was in harmony in nature, and by learning to plant wheat and corn, and by learning to inventing the conveyor belt and the steam engine. That was the beginning of the end. That was how we made ourselves unhappy and unhealthy, and we made us into robots, and we're no longer how we were meant to be. And but I'm thinking the people back then, before agriculture or before industry, had the same kind of criticism and the same kind of talk and the same kind of theories, except it was the other way around. They said, if we could live in a world where, there wasn't so much nature with us, where we did not have to freeze because the walls won't keep the cold out, and our underwear is too flimsy, to keep us warm in the winter, and childbirth, man. Even like 100 years ago, childbirth would take, every third woman or something. It was like the rate of death for the woman, for the mother, bearing children was, I don't know what it was. I'd have to look it up. But it was very high. It wasn't 50%, but it was almost 50%. It was very, very high. So just having children as a woman, and of course, most women, you're going to have children at some point, right? Especially before the pill. It was a crapshoot. It was a roll of the dice. You were playing with your life just to have children. I mean, that is nature. What nature is all about, right? Nature is all about reproducing, yet reproduction more often than not will kill you. And of course, the food was less healthy. We know less. Ignorance was rampant. War was much more. In pre-industrial society, so everything was worse. And the fact that we invented civilization and that we did our best continually to make life different. Better. I'm saying it's better, but we were making it different from what it was. We were inventing insulation to keep the cold out because we did not like the cold. So we had our discontents in pre-civilization, in the pre-industrial world. We were just as discontent with our world as we were now. Otherwise, we wouldn't have invented all these things to keep us from the vicissitudes of nature, of the dangers of nature. We wouldn't have invented, foundations for buildings to keep us from the risk of earthquake. We wouldn't have invented medicine to keep us from dying so young. We wouldn't have invented nutritional science to figure out what the best food is to eat. We did all this because we were discontent with the world we had. And so then once we got the more ideal world, the world we wanted, we were discontent with that too. So we're discontent no matter what the case is, no matter who we are, no matter how we live. We always think something else is better. The world is always better. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm sorry, Mr. Wordsworth. I like the poem. I love the poem, and sometimes I feel that way too, and I get it. But I'm here to tell you, I am grateful for the modern world. I'm grateful for this world we live in. I'm glad that I don't live in a cave or in a hut, and my landlord is a psychopath, nobleman in a castle. I'm really happy that I don't do that. I'm glad that I have an education. I got a college education for very cheap. I have a social security here. In Germany, and of course in America, you have social security also. You have I have a social network, a social system. My room, my apartment is filled with stuff I don't really actually need. I just love because I like the books. I like the knowledge. I like expanding my life. I like reading poems like this wonderful poem from William Wordsworth. I love all this stuff. I'm glad that I've lived this long and that I will be able to live longer. I am very nearsighted. I probably, and kind of a scrawny kid. I was a scrawny, weakling kid, bookworm. In the Middle Ages, I wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes. I would have been a goner. I'm grateful for this world. Even a lot of people don't know it, how good this world is. But today, in the first decade or the second decade, I guess we're now second decade of the 21st century, there is less poverty than ever before in the world. There is less war than ever before in the world. There is less murder than ever before in the world. There are more privileges, more rights, more prosperity, more technical possibilities, more wealth than ever before in the world. Of course, there are problems. There are things that we have to change. I agree with that. We're always trying to make life better. That's natural and good. But I'm grateful for all this stuff. I'm grateful for for the capitalism. I'm grateful for the democracy. I'm grateful for the public discourse, even though I think it's ridiculous at times. I'm grateful for the peace that is so present in the modern Western world. There's so much of it compared with history. I'm grateful for free speech. I'm grateful for the opportunities to publish and to read and to write. I'm grateful for the education that we have, even though I could have had more education, if I wanted it. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for the recipes in the internet, and that I can go to a grocery store and get these strange, exotic, ingredients and make a dish that tastes unlike any other dish I've made before. And it's really good. And it's a new experience every time I make some kind of a new dish with some kind of new recipe, because someone is sitting there making a little, a few cents per recipe, writing these recipes, inventing these recipes. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for Netflix and Disney Plus and the comedians on it and the shows on it and the movies and the TV series and binge watching. I'm grateful for Marvel. I'm grateful for space and exploration and for the idea of private space flight and maybe colonizing Mars. That fascinates me, and I'm grateful for this telescope that they just launched into space, and I'm grateful for all these things. I just want to say, now, if I were a poet, I would put all this into a poem, and I would say, I'm grateful that the world is so much with us. I have my discontents. Maybe I'm a little bit depressive at times, and I have the troubles and all that, but I'm grateful that the troubles I have are in this world and not in a world 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, because I would not have made it. I'm grateful for this world, for the world we live in now. E.T. Hansen, that's me, is an American writer from Hawaii living in Berlin. I write novels and nonfiction in German and English. I teach the art of fiction, and I podcast about life and language and seeking wisdom. For more information, check out our publishing website, hulaink.com. That's Hula like the dance, INK like the printed page, in one word, hulaink.com. The music in this video was performed by our producer and editor, Lothar Rosengarten. Lothar is a musician who lives and performs in Berlin. For more information about him, please visit his website, lothar-rosengarten.de. That's LOTHAR-ROSENGARTEN.de. You can support Hula Inc. and Lothar and me by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Hula Inc. And don't forget to share our videos and our podcasts and subscribe to this podcast and to vimeo.com/Hula Inc. But mostly, we just hope that you enjoy and have something from our work. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And we wish you all the love, luck, and happiness in this world.